All right, today we're going to talk about comparing fractions that have two denominators that are not the same. So they are unlike denominators. As you can see, 4 and 12 are not the same. So we have to find a way to make them the same so that way we can actually compare the two fractions. So as you can remember, when we have two numbers that we have to find something in common, we're going to think about all the numbers that go into it. So the very first thing we're going to do, I'm going to change my color. We're going to say 1 time. So 4 times 1 is 4. 12 times 1 is 12. So I know that's the case. So now I'm going to look at 2. 4 times 2 is 8. 12 times 2 is 24. Connect that 4 there. Now let's change that color again. We're going to go to 3. So 3 times 4 is 12, which now that I don't have to go another step because I can see that this 12 and this 12, we can get to 12 with both of these numbers. So the very first thing I have to do is I've got to think about, if I'm going to 12, I mean, I could go over here and multiply this by 1 and multiply this by 1, but I still get 7 twelfths, same difference. So let's focus instead on 3/4. Let's get 3/4 as a fraction to having the same denominator as 7 twelfths. So when I look at down here and I look at my 4, I notice that it takes 3 times to get 4 into 12. So I'm going to multiply that 4 times 3. That gives me 12. Now we'll have the same denominator, so I can compare the two. And anything I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top. So now on the top, I'm going to do 3 times 3, which is equal to 9. So now from this standpoint, I'm going to be comparing two fractions with the same denominator. That's 9 twelfths and 7 twelfths. Just right there, we can pay attention to the fact that my numerator is a 9 here and a 7 here. Since they have the same denominator, I know that I'm looking at that numerator there. I know that 9 is bigger, so I'm going to put my chompy teeth going towards my 9. So in this case, whenever you're looking to compare two fractions with unlike denominators, you got to turn that denominator into the same number in both fractions. And we did that by creating our chart here, finding how many times 4 goes into 1, 4 times 1, 4 times 2, 4 times 3. Eventually we found that 12 is something they had in common, and that's how I got both denominators to 12 and could ultimately compare the two.